Crack contains an addictive substance.
Let's talk about cigarettes. And some cigars, too. Like alcohol, cigarettes are legal. The Sopranos aired on HBO from 1999 to 2007. What percentage of the population smoked then? In 1999, when the show started, it was 23.5%. In 2007, by the time we get to the end of the series, it's 19.8%. About 19% of Italians smoke, which is lower than the 24% average within the European Union. In the UK, about 11.9%, and about 11% of Australians. There were many characters on The Sopranos who smoked.
I just want to put my kids through college.
Sure, I got nothing better to do.
If you're smoking, you owe me $5.
So it was no surprise to see cigarettes everywhere.
Did you ever notice he's the only motherfucker who can smoke a cigarette in the rain with his hands tied behind his back?
With so many characters being smokers, it's easy for the cigarettes to kind of blend in to where you may not even really notice them. Except for one character, where you would always notice those cigarettes. And that's John Sacrimony. For Tony, it was all about those powerful cigar puffs. The majority of smokers at the time were daily smokers, with a smaller percentage being folks who smoke every now and then.
You smoking? Hey, give me it off that.
Oh, who's in charge here?
And we can see both of these on The Sopranos.
They got out of jail on the fucking medical.
What's the matter? You leave my gas burner on? I almost lit a cigarette. I could have died.
In this case, we know she's talking about an explosion, but it makes me think of the many people who did die, eventually, from lighting cigarettes. More than one, of course.
Look at us. We'll kill ourselves.
Like alcohol and other substances. For some, cigarettes can help take the edge off. Compared to some other substances that we see as more immediately dangerous or deadly,
They not only had blocks of stone, but bread.
cigarettes are often seen as the less harmful option. Maybe this is why Christopher was allowed to have cigarettes with him in rehab.
Cigarettes are okay, right?
Cigarettes are fine. In fact, they're encouraged for patients who smoke. No chocolate allowed.
No caffeine or substances containing caffeine.
If it's harmful to make someone quit smoking and withdraw from nicotine while recovering from other drug addiction, why make them do the double withdrawal with caffeine? In terms of what rehab facilities can prohibit, the rules really vary by state and facility. Terminator went out fighting. He died doing what he did best, killing and smoking cigarettes.
I don't think you can smoke in here.
Now let's talk about cigars for a little bit.
Hey, you mind? You don't mind?
In terms of safety and health risks, cigars are pretty much just as dangerous as cigarettes, but the difference is the majority of people who are just cigar smokers don't smoke cigars every single day. And cigars can be especially dangerous when you use a cigar box to hide your wire. Whereas with cigarettes, it's more likely that a person is a daily smoker.
And he thinks I quit.
No matter how tough some of these guys are, cigarettes can still take them down. Even someone like the Terminator.
That cough.
What do you want? Smoke those camel seats in short pants.
Or the boss of a family.
We stopped at a liquor store. He had to pee. I needed some cigarettes.
Cigarettes are a red flag for Tony when they come up in conversation with Fran Felstein and she talks about picking them up from the gas station while Johnny had emphysema only a couple months before he had passed away.
My dad caught emphysema and you kept smoking?
To play devil's advocate, I imagine there are many times that Tony has smoked and not necessarily been mindful of the people around him. For him, I suppose it was part of a rude awakening of who this woman really was.
My dad was tough.
And how she had impacted his life.
Guy like that, and my mother wore him down to a little nub.
Perhaps it wasn't just your mom. Maybe things like cigarettes, too.
I mean, Jesus Christ, even my mother quit.
With Ginny and John, we see two people struggling with two different legal substances.
You were the one
who was supposed to quit smoking and didn't.
Nicotine's an addictive substance.
What's wrong with you? Why are you yelling at me?
Vincent Curatola, the actor who played Johnny Sack, actually smoked for 35 years and then quit, and it was shortly before the filming of Stage 5 when he had quit. In addition to Curatola, other Sopranos actors quit smoking in real life, including Edie Falco, Michael Imperioli, Tony Sirico, Stevie Van Zandt, and others. As a matter of fact, Stevie Van Zandt said that he and Tony Sirico were motivated to quit smoking after seeing Nancy Marchand on set with her oxygen while she was still working, even after being diagnosed with emphysema. If Nancy Marchand, who played Livia Soprano, didn't get lung cancer and emphysema and die when she did, season 3 and on may have developed quite differently. We may not have gotten the return of Janice, Aida Torturo. While James Gandolfini wasn't a cigarette smoker, before certain scenes, he would smoke Lucky Strikes, and apparently, according to Michael Imperioli, Gandolfini said that he used the cigarette to help get him into the character of Tony. But he also said that the Luckies reminded him of his father. Johnny Sack wasn't pleased about having to serve 15 years in the can, but his lawyer told him he still had the golden years ahead of him. And he may have, but those cigarettes caught up to him.
At this point, we're looking at stage 4 small cell carcinoma of the lungs.
And there's no stage 5.
That's correct.
He's frustrated by the fact that he finally stopped smoking after many decades of smoking who knows how many cigarettes a day.
I got here, I quit smoking, exercised, ate right. And for what?
Well, yeah, Johnny. You stopped smoking for a few months, but that's not necessarily going to undo however many years you were smoking.
It's funny, ironic, whichever.
We'll kill ourselves for these cigarettes.
Rosalie tells Aide, we're going to kill ourselves with these cigarettes, and then goes on to talk about Angie Bompancero and Puss being traitors. Meanwhile, later on that season, Adriana is killed. Not by the cigarettes, but by some wise guys. The feds were finally able to convince Adriana to come clean to Christopher after giving her a cigarette.
I mean, living like this is what's costing you your insides.
I really need a cigarette.
Okay. Come on. Come on.
And after she came clean to Christopher, he went out to get cigarettes too.
Be back in a little while.
Stay, wait. Smoke mine. No, don't smoke. Next you're gonna want a vodka.
When she says to him, don't smoke, next thing you know you're going to want a vodka, it makes me think of the alcohol and heroin combination that Christopher's also struggled with.
I'm just gonna get cigarette. Be right back.
There you are. We went... John, what the hell are you doing?
I wonder if I could smoke in here.
The desire to be in total control. Maybe it's not just cigarettes. Maybe it's alcohol, other drugs, other things, other ways. People strive to maintain control, even if it's just an illusion.
Psychologically, when a person's told they're dying, it's the ultimate loss of control.
Want to be in total control.
I suspect smoking on some level is an attempt to die as he lived, in total control.
There's no such thing as total control.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? Thanks for watching.